A very good evening to you and welcome to tonight's edition of Primetime News. You're with me, Florine Rajendra.
And I'm Sandra Ferdinando. We start off with a look at your headlines.
Minister Ravi Karunanayake acquitted in foreign exchange case at the Colombo High Court. Former Minister Johnston Fernanda files bail application. Hearings postponed to the 25th of May. Opposition leader responds to Prime Minister's statement on seeking legal opinion from the Commonwealth. Sand miners in hiding near the Muhudu Mahaviharaya in Pothuwil.
Minister Ravi Karunanayake has been acquitted in the foreign exchange case at the Colombo High Court. The minister was acquitted when the case was taken up again before Colombo High Court Judge Irangani Pereira today. The judge stated that the decision was reached upon taking into consideration the objections raised by the lawyers of the defence with regard to anomalies in the indictment produced against Minister Ravi Karunanayake. Justice Pereira added that the Attorney General has the capability to file a case once again and that an appeal could also be filed by the AG if the need arises.
The court case, which was filed without any proper reason, proved futile today through its witnesses. Why did we have to suffer for 9.5 years under a corrupt regime? This is the 27th time this year that I have arrived here in this regard, subsequent to being appointed a minister of the new cabinet. While I am present here for the 27th time with my lawyers, Gotabaya Rajapaksa is running away. He cannot enter the commission to investigate bribery or corruption, nor provide answers in the Supreme Court.
This is incidentally the final judgment to be handed down by Justice Irangani Pereira. Justice Irangani bid adieu to her service as a judge and has retired following 31 years of service.
The bail application put forward by former Minister Johnston Fernanda, who is in remand custody, was taken up today at the Kurunegala High Court. The bail application was filed by a team of lawyers, including President's Counsel Kalinga Intradesa, instructed by Attorney-at-Law Lakmal Ratnayaka.
Former Minister Johnston Fernanda was arrested on the 5th of May when he was summoned to the Financial Crimes Investigation Division in order to record a statement regarding financial irregularities in the Laksatosa company. He was produced before the Colombo Chief Magistrate and subsequently before the Kurunegala Magistrates Court and was placed in remand custody. The bail application was filed as a revision application after the court rejected his initial bail application. Kurunegala High Court Judge Sunanda Kumara Ratnayaka, who heard the bail application, postponed the hearing until the 25th of May. The judge informed the relevant parties to submit objections at the next hearing.
Opposition leader Nima Siripala de Silva accused Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today of hiding facts while voicing his opposition to the court decision on Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa went to the Supreme Court regarding this matter. He was able to file a case under Article 126 Part 2. Article 126 Part 2 states that the justices of the Supreme Court can issue a decision on this. The same article states that the Supreme Court shall have power to grant such relief or make such directions as it may deem just as equitable. Once this decision was handed down, Ranil Wickremesinghe became very troubled and said he does not know if it is his hands, feet or body that has been bound. He said he is against it and that they must now complain to the Commonwealth, to their judges and lawyers. This is a very serious situation and there are several facts that Ranil Wickremesinghe has hidden. I wish to reveal these hidden facts to the media today. The Chief Justice of this country granted permission for the two justices on this bench to hear the petition. The Deputy Solicitor General represented the police and the Inspector General of Police and argued for 1.5 hours. If two justices cannot issue a stay order, as Ranil Wickremesinghe says, shouldn't the Deputy Solicitor General have been aware of this? He did not say no. Now he is saying that an opinion must be sought from Commonwealth judges and Commonwealth law associations. This is good governance and rule of law of Ranil Wickremesinghe. When he gets a decision from the highest court that goes against him, he should realize that the Supreme Court is the highest judicial body as per the Constitution.
Highest judicial body in this country is the Supreme Court. Nobody can challenge the decision of the Supreme Court either in this country or abroad.
The UMP's alignment on foreign powers is made clearly evident by this statement made by Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Ranil Wickremesinghe මැතිතුමාගේ මේ ප්‍රකාශය.
අගමැතිතුමාට අමතක වෙලාද මන් දන්නේ නැහැ.
I do not know if the Prime Minister has forgotten that the Supreme Court was established as the highest court in the country under the Republican Constitution of 1972 and the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka Constitution of 1978. When notice has been issued for it to be taken up again in October, he is asking why so much time has been given. This is because he is not sure if the cabinet will even exist come September. Journalists raised questions regarding the purported no confidence motion against the Prime Minister.
We have not submitted a no confidence motion against the Prime Minister. At the opposition party leaders meeting tomorrow, we will call for a no confidence motion against the Governor of the Central Bank.
The Voice Against Corruption movement has called for broad investigations into fraud that has been committed in the Colombo Stock Exchange between 2010 and 2012. The convener of the movement, Vasantha Samarasinghe, points out that his organization too has lodged several complaints regarding the matter.
Allegations of fraud in the Colombo Stock Exchange first came to light in August 2010. This information came to light with the bourse regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, imposing limits on the transaction of shares of several companies. Consequently, the SEC commenced investigations into the fraudulent activity. However, just as investigations commenced, the Director General of the SEC, Malik Kader, was transferred to the Finance Ministry, while the chairperson, Indrani Sugadadasa, resigned. According to media reports at the time, Indrani Sugadadasa said she had quit on a matter of principle and conscience, while her successor, Tilak Karunaratne, picked up the investigation from where the former officials left off. Letters were also addressed to several persons responsible for the irregularities at the CSE, seeking explanations. However, Tilak Karunaratne too was not allowed to retain the position of SEC chairman for long. He resigned the position, claiming that a small group was operating a mafia within the stock exchange. Convening a media briefing following Karunaratne's resignation, businessman Dilit Jayavira said he had made submissions to the president on the wrongful actions of Tilak Karunaratne. Shortly after the statement made by Dilit Jayavira, Dr. Nalaka Godaheva was appointed as the new chairman of the SEC. At the time of appointment, Godaheva was the chairman of Colombo Land Development, a company in which Dilit Jayavira was a director. The move to appoint the chairman of a company in which a person under investigation was a director as head of the regulator was criticized heavily, citing conflict of interest. In Parliament recently, the Prime Minister too called for an investigation into Dilit Jayavira, citing the name of the company in question.
Take for example Dilit Jayavira. His role in the Colombo Land and Development Company and Reef Combo have to be probed by the authorities.
The majority of the people of this country had faith that the 100-day government or the government appointed on the 8th of January would take action with regard to the impact caused by associates of the Rajapaksa nepotism. The innocent people who got caught the deals of these dealers and invested their EPF and ETF expecting a profit were hoping for action, but none of it has borne fruit today. We do not see investigations taking place. We have lodged serious complaints with charges regarding the resignations of the people at CSC, the misuse of EPF funds and the suspicious transactions of shares of companies like the Insurance Corporation and Lanka hospitals. We do not see sufficient intervention that will constitute a fair investigation. Thereby we say once again that in order to prevent the corrupt from moving away any further, intervention is necessary and swift investigations must be undertaken into these transactions.
Allegations raised over the Karpitia Beach Resort deal, which is owned by a company in which Dilit Jayavira is a director. SEC issues directive to the company over inaction for several years, having raised 283 million rupees from the public. SEC raises questions on remedial action that will be taken if the hotel is not built and shareholders are not treated fairly. action filed at a district court claiming that a company of which Dilip Javira is a director had fraudulently obtained land in Pasukura valued at 169 million rupees. For the attention of the FCID. Minister Ravi Karunanayake requests all politicians to help nab those persons who swindled from the country without being separated by the political party they belong to. She made this statement at an event held at the UNP headquarters in Sirikota today.
People have said that there are those who have stolen millions of rupees during election period. They say that the present government is only catching those who are involved in minor corruption, especially during the 100-day program. We know that they were involved in minor corruption, and we know that it is those very same individuals who carried out wide-scale corruption. Mahinda Rajapaksa knows more about this than us. He said he has files on them. If Mahinda Rajapaksa reveals those files, then we can apprehend those involved in large-scale corruption by tomorrow.
සිල්ලර නෙමෙයි මහ පරිමාණය හැම සතයක්ම හැම දේපලක්ම සූරා කාපු අය හෙට දවසේ වෙනකොට හිරේ යන්න සිදු වෙන නිසා.
National organizers of the United National Bhikkhu Front, Venerable Ambampula Nyanalo Katera, who participated in the district coordinating officers meeting of the United Lak Vanita Front, questioned the current actions of the United National Party.
We would like to say that this is an utter shame. We are happy that we are appointed to the government, but we cannot step on the streets because we are ashamed. Those persons who are a strength to the party cannot step in the streets because they are ashamed. High-ranking officials are taking this party to the grave. This is indeed saddening. They are creating conflict within the party. From the party leader to the secretary, it must be remembered that it is because of the party that you became leaders of the party. You must protect the party. You must bring victory to the party. It is very sad to say that the party is now being led by a group of individuals who have never even been bitten by a leech. I'm talking on behalf of you and the people. Why? Because if we cannot raise our voices, then we will leave the party. It is only if we rebel within the party that we will be able to receive top positions in the party. It is very saddening indeed. Those who are learned, wise and those who protected the party are now no more. If you are working for their company, then you become a coordinator. If you are obedient to them, then you get a position. Thieves get positions in this party. Is this change? Is this strength? Why do we topple a government? It is because we want justice for everyone in this country. Chief Prelate of the Askeri chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Galagama Sri Attadasi Thera, arrived at the Askeri Mahavihara today.
Most Venerable Galagama Sri Attadasi Thero was residing at the Urulavatta Vihara, which comes under the purview of the Askeri Mahavihara. The Chief Prelate delivered a short sermon after arriving at his official quarters. The President, the Prime Minister and all Ministers and Councillors should be advised. I can see that they have fallen into groups with varying ideologies and debate among themselves. This will not help us to create a prosperous future for our country. They should stop fighting and should be patient with things. I hope to advise them if they need it, but they should fulfill it. Sometimes they are ignored. This is done in the past years.
Today marks the 6th anniversary of the historic war victory which brought freedom to the Sri Lankan nation. Today, as a nation, we commemorate the ultimate sacrifices made by our war heroes who gave life and limb to ensure the victory of law over fear and democracy over terrorism.
Following the assassination of the mayor of Jaffna, Alfred Doreapa, on the 27th of July 1975, the LTTE surfaced, manifesting in total following the dark events of July 1983. On the 18th of May 2009, the terrorism wrought by LTTE was buried forever at the Nandikada Lagoon. In a dark chapter of its history, Sri Lanka gained prominence around the world in the use of phrases such as suicide bombings, armed conflict, intimidation and terror. In 2006, the political and military leadership resolved to provide a military response to the violent and brutal transgressions of the LTTE. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the Cabinet of Ministers at the time paved the path for the commanders of the armed forces led by Army Commander Lieutenant General Sarath Fonseca, Navy Commander Rear Admiral Wasantha Karangoda and Air Force Commander Air Chief Marshal Roshan Gunatilaka to launch a major offensive by land, sea and air. It all began with the humanitarian operation in Mullatheva. In 2007, the LTTE had been driven out of the eastern province, and within a few short years they were driven off the map with the final victory at the Nandikada Lagoon. The victory brought all Sri Lankans the freedom to live in one nation under one flag.
The 2015 Ranaviru Commemorative Parade will be held in Mathura tomorrow. Rehearsals for the event were held this morning.
The parade will take place at Samudra Mawate in Mathura under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. The parade will consist of 7,300 officers representing the tri-forces, police and the civil defence force. Furthermore, the Air Force will showcase their strength at the parade by including fighter jets at the event. Tanks, military weapons, fighter jets and navy vessels will add to the grandeur of the Ranaviru Commemorative Parade. A parachute exhibition will be held in line with the event. Police stated that vehicular movement along Samudra Mawata will be restricted from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. as a result.
Meanwhile, a press briefing was held today to inform about the commemorative event that will be held on the 20th of May under the auspices of the President in front of the Ranaviru Memorial in Battaramulla. The briefing was organized by the chairperson of the Ranaviru Seva Authority, Anoma Fonseca. You and I and all of the people in this country are living without any fear because our loving soldiers sacrificed their lives for their country. There is a tradition in the army called the last post where the bugle is sounded right at 6. We will play that and conclude the event. All the veterans of the Tri-Force, the police and the Civil Defence Force have been involved in this. We have invited them all. We will pay special homage to the heroes who paid the ultimate price, laying down their lives for the country.
අපි ආරාධනා කරලා තියෙනවා අපි විශේෂත්වයේ සලකන්නේ අපේ මියගිය ආදරණීය රණවිරුවන්ගේ පවුල්.
A Bodhi Pooja to bestow blessings on the war heroes was held in Homagama under the auspices of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
The Bodhi Pooja and the chanting of the Jai Pirita was organized in line with the 6th Ranaviru commemoration celebrations at the Pitipana Uttamarama temple in Homagama last evening. The former president addressed the gathering subsequent to the puja. They are slinging mud at us. I think there are only 2 billionaires in India who are richer than me. Where is this money? It is kept in Swaziland. Swaziland is a country where the king has 435 wives. It is a country like that. But if someone deposits a rupee or a dollar, what you will have to bring back is an empty piece of paper. The District Court of Colombo today further extended an enjoining order restraining the ex-principal of Trinity College, Kandy, UA Ratna, from representing or acting as a principal of Trinity College. Now, this was pursuant to an action filed by a parent and an old boy of Trinity College alleging that Arya Ratna was acting as a principal of Trinity College unlawfully.
The ex-principal of Trinity College, Kandy, UA Arya Ratna, had made an application to vacate the enjoining order issued against him. In the meantime, the plaintiff had also filed an application for contempt of court, alleging that the ex-principal had engaged in various disruptive and contemptuous activities consequent to the issuance of the said enjoining order. When the matter was taken up in court, counsel for the Board of Governors of Trinity College, President's Counsel Faiza Mustafa, informed court that the board is supportive of the said action since the ex-principal had disrupted the management and administration of the school consequent to being terminated. Mustafa also informed court that Colin Ratnayaka has been appointed to replace the said ex-principal. Consequent to the above submissions being made, the ex-principal gave an undertaking not to interfere in the affairs of the school until the conclusion of the inquiry pertaining to the interim injunction. Accordingly, court extended the enjoining order until the 1st of June 2015. Attorney-at-Law Isru Balapattabandi appeared for the plaintiff, while President's Counsel Faiza Mustafa, with attorneys-at-law Charaka Jayaratna and Pulasti Rupasinghe, appeared for the Trinity College Board of Governors. Attorney-at-Law Farman Qasim, with Attorney-at-Law Tharaka Nanayakara, appeared for the Bishop of Colombo, while President's Counsel S.A. Parathalingam and President's Counsel Kuera Disoisa appeared for several other defendants. Proceedings have been underway for close to 3 years.
A stock of files and documents belonging to the Presidential Secretariat have been discovered at a collection centre for old newspapers on Kota Road, Borella.
At about 3 o'clock this afternoon, intelligence officers discovered a stock of documents from the Presidential Secretariat at a collection centre for old newspapers on Kota Road in the Borella Police Division. It has been reported that a person who arrived at the location in a car this morning had sold the documents contained in an empty fertilizer bag to the collection centre. The files and documents were seized and are currently in the custody of the Borella Police. The Presidential Secretariat has been informed. After an official from the Presidential Secretariat has examined the documents, necessary investigations will be undertaken.
The Forest Conservation Department is placing permanent boundary markers in order to prevent further destruction of the Wilpattu forest.
The Forest Conservation Department says that these steps have been initiated taking into consideration the destruction that has been taking place in the northern area of the Wilpattu forest.
The forest has been cleared illegally for resettlement purposes, and this has been taking place because there was no proper boundary line all this time. This is a very sensitive environment and social issue. In the past, when we marked external boundary lines and erect boundary posts, then it restricted individuals who clear forests illegally. The people became scared as this marked government-owned land. In this manner, we saw a decrease in the clearing of forests.
Meanwhile, Secretary of the Ministry of Environment Ningal Rupasinghe noted the discussions are due to be held with the President within the next 2 weeks and a final decision will be taken with regard to the matter. A report on the clearing of forest land is being compiled as per the instructions of the President. Now, yesterday, Newsfirst exposed an illegal sand mining operation taking place in an area which was affected by the tsunami in 2004. We now bring you a report on the immediate response of government officials upon hearing about this incident.
This sand dune is considered an archaeological site located in close proximity to the Pothuwil Muhudu Mahaviharaya. As promised, the Department of Coast Conservation erected a fence today surrounding the sand dune in order to prevent sand miners from continuing their illegal sand mining operation.
Today we issued a letter to the Pradesh Sabha bearing the signature of the Director General to not allow sand mining in the location in question as these sand dunes are valuable. Furthermore, in order to take speedy measures, we will be carrying out the necessary steps at night. Whilst we will be monitoring the area around the clock, steps will be taken to erect a fence so that this will restrict hand tractors from entering the location.
Our correspondent noted that the illegal sand mining which was taking place in close proximity to the temple has come to a temporary halt.
The relevant authorities have come forward to look into this matter. We request that the perpetrators be brought before the law and that the law be enforced. We express our gratitude to the Sirius Media Network for bringing to light this hazardous activity which was taking place in the surrounding areas.
The Ranbhoomi Rally for Unity, spreading the message of coexistence and harmony, reached Tirupane, the end point of today's leg of the island-wide journey. The 11th day of the rally commenced in Habrana this morning.
Habarana, which is celebrated as a prominent tourist attraction, welcomed the rally with a procession of elephants. Following dance items at the event, the brick engraved with the name of Habarana was placed on the main float of the rally as a sign of the commitment of the people of Habarana to national unity.
I heard about the rally through Sirius FM, therefore I wanted to be a part of it. I'm very happy about it. This event, which aims to form a single Sri Lankan community, must receive our utmost praise and blessings.
I study at a Sinhalese school. We all need to unite to bring peace among all communities. The Rambhumi rally then arrived in Kakirava, the second stop for the day. A welcome ceremony was held in the peaceful area of Kakirava. The brick engraved with the name of Kakirava was placed on the main float of the rally as a sign of the commitment of the people of Kakirava to national unity, forgetting caste, creed, in order for the development of the country.
As the Mahasangha, we continue to appreciate this venture by the MTV network to bring unity to Sri Lanka. I came from far away. I'm very happy about this program. We need to have unity regardless of caste and creed.
The Rambhumi rally, which aims to spread the message of national unity, arrived at the final destination for the day in Tiripane. The people of Tiripane offered the Rambhumi rally a warm welcome.
Everyone must appreciate for carrying out such an initiative.
The Rambhumi Rally for Unity, organised by MTV MBC, Newsfirst, Colombo Port City and the National Youth Services Council, will travel from Anuradhapura to Nochiagama via Karuvalagaswava tomorrow.
Brick by brick, our hearts become one. Rambhumi Rally for Unity. 16th May, 9 a.m. Kalmune, 12 p.m. Kuhana, 4 p.m. Ampara. 17th May, 9 a.m. Mahaoya, 12 p.m. Mahayangana, 4 p.m. Polonnarua. 18th May, 9 a.m. Habarana, 12 p.m. Kakirava, 4 p.m. Maradang Kadavala. Join us now for the nation's biggest rally.
First up in sports news, it's cricket. The West Indies women's team beat the Sri Lanka women's team by 18 runs on Duckworth-Lewis method in third one-day match of the West Indies women's tour of Sri Lanka at R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo today. Batting first today, the West Indies women posted 215 runs for the loss of 3 wickets in the allotted 50 overs. Stephanie Taylor top scored with 89 runs while Dhendra Dottin scored an unbeaten 69. As a result of the rain, the Sri Lankan women were given a revised target of 209 runs from 46 overs. When the player was halted due to bad light, 2 deliveries into the 41st over, the Sri Lankan women's were 170 for the loss of 8 wickets, 18 runs short of the Duck Lewis target, and the West Indies women are leading the 4-match series 2-1. And that's a wrap up this edition of Primetime News. I'm Sandra Ferdinando.
Well, you could keep abreast of these stories and much more by simply logging into our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Florine Rajendran. Take care and good night.